the heavyweight scene, which is largely dominated by English, funnily enough, has been very, very exciting lately. Listen, being the heavyweight boxing champion of the world throughout history has always been a very, very cool thing to be. Of course, now with the UFC, that it doesn't necessarily make you the baddest man on the planet. In fact, Harrington, you put something in the notes. Could you just chime in on this? Because I didn't actually witness this, but apparently one of the commentators said being the boxing heavyweight champion of the world doesn't make you the baddest man on the planet. Is that correct?
Yeah, Max Kellerman said that. They addressed that early on in the pre-fight. They said, this is for the baddest man on the planet. He said, whoa, the baddest man on the planet is whoever the UFC heavyweight champion is.
Ooh, he said that on a boxing broadcast.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
I tell you what, listen, I'm not telling fucking tales out of school here, right? But I'll guarantee if I was commentating a UFC heavyweight title fight and I said on air, somebody said, oh, he's the baddest man on the planet. I went, no. Hold on. Tyson Fury, he or Anthony Joshua or the boxing heavyweight. Yeah, didn't even name a name, just went to the sport. No. The boxing heavyweight champ is the baddest man on the planet. I'm not telling tales out of school here. I would fully expect this to happen. Not that I've done this, but I would expect a little text to Rooney, step into my office, motherfucker. Why? Because you're fucking fired. Because that is undermining the sport. I respect Max Kellerman for saying that. And of course, we all know that is accurate. So maybe the boxing fans do know that as well. But still, that was a ballsy thing for him to do.
Yeah, really great job. On Fury's part. And to be honest with you, I mean, he's now in a position where he's a massive star already. This performance is huge. I don't know much about the unifying of the titles. I know that they're talking about him unifying some other titles, but the prospect of him coming over and doing a crossover fight, I've never been more intrigued in it. And I want to see it in MMA. I know, Harrington, I know you had said something about UFC fighters lining up and maybe, I don't know if there was any comments or whatever, but if I'm him, there's nothing to lose in coming over to mixed martial arts and giving a try. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of winnable fights. There's a lot of guys that are just fucking big motherfuckers who are going to stand there and punch with him, and he can knock people out. It's not that crazy that he could come in and win a UFC fight. I'm not saying that he's going to beat the heavyweight champion. I think that anybody who has really good wrestling is going to be able to expose that pretty easily. I think Cormier would wipe the floor with him. But if he goes up against an Ngannou or, one of these other big punchers, it could be a really entertaining fight, massive eyes on it. And he can definitely knock somebody out. If he catches you, he's going to knock you out.
Yeah, you're right. There probably is some entertaining fights. I disagree with your comment about he has nothing to lose. He has fucking everything to lose. Why would you do that? It pisses me off every time there's a big boxing fight. I mean, I get it. We're fighters. We're all just human beings at the end of the day. And whether we do MMA or whether we do boxing, it's a fight, right? So they draw parallels from that and they want to compete against that guy. But all these MMA guys, I mean, who was it? Was it Stipe and Ngannou? I mean, I love them both. I'm a massive, massive fan of both of those guys. But come on, let Tyson Fury have his moment, because let's be honest, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Right now, Tyson Fury is probably going to either rematch Deontay Wilder or fight Anthony Joshua and unify all 5 belts. There's 5 main belts in boxing. I think Fury has 3 of them and Joshua has 2. They have never, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I read this, they've never been unified. Nobody has been the champion of all 5 belts at once. So that's history. He's not going to risk that by coming over to the UFC. Not to mention the fucking paydays on the line. I'm just reading here, per the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the contractual guaranteed purses for Wilder and Fury were both $5 million. However, as noted by ESPN, both men are actually guaranteed to make more than $25 million plus a percentage of the pay-per-view buys. Those numbers are an increase from their first meeting, which was only $4 million, but still. So once pay-per-view comes in, these guys are making $35-40 million fucking dollars. It's fucking insane. I mean, that's a big payday, And if you could rematch Joshua, line up all the belts, the only man in history to ever do that, fuck me. That's where his attention is going to be at. Now, of course, if he was to fight someone like an Ngannou, I think that'd be a cool fight, it'd be an interesting fight. If he fought somebody like Stipe is just going to take him down all day. And as you said, Daniel Cormier, same thing. They're going to grab those long legs, that have never been kicked in their entire life and take him down. But that's not what he does. He's a boxer, and he's a fucking good one. He's a 3 division champion of the world. To even think about doing that, I mean, yeah, it's good. It catches headlines. It keeps the public interested. It gives you the illusion that you're the baddest man on the planet and willing to fight anyone, anywhere, in any rule set at any time. But it would be crazy.